Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what is going on? My name is M1K3 and welcome back to a brand new video here on the channel. Before we get into today's video, I know some of you guys might be asking where I've been, and if you have any questions regarding all of that, leave a comment down below as I'll be answering absolutely every comment on this video. But today, we're going to be going over 5 secrets of competitive Fortnite that will unarguably take your gameplay to the next level. With that said, let's shoot for 1,000 likes on today's video, and let's get into today's episode. So, before we get into the 5 secrets of competitive Fortnite, I want to note that these secrets aren't just 5 things that will instantly make you a better competitive player. However, if you listen carefully and actually trust what I am saying in this video and practice the things I am going to be teaching, you will become a better competitive player. It is honestly that simple. But what I want you to understand is that to perfect the tips I'm going to share in this video, you'll need a lot of structure and you have to be strict with how you play moving forward. With that said, let's get into secret number 1. Secret number 1 is going to be how to avoid mid-game fights and how to always stay on top of Storm Surge in trios. This tip is regarding when you should, or rather, when you absolutely have to, rotate out from your drop spot. And for some reason, I haven't ever seen any Fortnite YouTuber talk about this tip. And it's really simple, yet super duper effective. When the first zone starts pulling on 0, 0, 0, you have to be in a car on your way rotating out of your drop spot. I don't care if you land Lazy Lake, Craggy Cliffs, or Weeping Woods, this is the golden time to rotate out. And if you don't have good enough loot and a respectable amount of mats by 0, 0, 0, then you have to learn how to loot and farm. So I know some of you guys watching are probably asking, why is this so incredibly important? And what do I do if I'm contested? Well, the answer is quite simple. The reason behind why this is so insanely important and why it's a rule you should always follow is because you can claim any position on the map wherever you want and start going for Storm Surge tags. In addition to that, there will be nearly no chance of anyone else rotating into you if you rotate this early. Only a super duper ultra small fraction of competitive players rotate out at this time. This means that not only will you be able to claim the best position on the entire map, but you'll also be able to refarm max brick and max wood when rotating out. And if you land at a POI where you can get max metal before 0, 0, 0, this means that you'll be cap, moving into the second or even third zone. Moving on, what do you do if you're contested? So, easily explained, the same rule 100% follows. However, this is where it gets interesting. Off-spawn fighting often takes a long time, and the amount of time you use to finish an off-spawn fight is one of the biggest differences between top-tier pros and low-level competitive players. Off-spawn fighting should be done as soon as possible, because if you use a long time off-spawn fighting, you are griefing your entire game. This means that going for a 50-50 off-spawn is not necessarily a dumb idea at all. Because at least if you lose that, you're out of the game in 5 minutes instead of using like 20 minutes to get 0 points in a competitive tournament like FNCS or a Cash Cup. The second competitive secret is going to be learning to play the space in first, second, third, and or even fourth moving. This is something, once again, I never see anyone talk about, and I think I know why. Because it's simply a god strategy. So, using the space is simply understanding how the zone mechanics work in Fortnite. This allows you to always create a dead side for yourself, because the zone will open up more and more on one of the sides. Using this strategy in second and third moving especially makes the job 100 times easier. And for some reason, very few people have understood this concept. Earlier in this video, I talked about 50-50ing off-spawn, and this is where secret number 3 comes in super handy. Secret number 3 is having a drop map. And this should not be something you can have if you want to. This is something you must have if you want to become a top-tier competitive Fortnite player. And the reason behind why is because every other top-tier trio in the world has one as well. So if you're wondering what a drop map is, it is simply a pre-made map with markers on it for you to understand where you should deploy your glider to get the best possible drop every single time. This one on screen right now is made by Coach JSO, and it is an amazing drop map for main in Lazy. easy. Making a drop map is simple enough. However, it is quite time consuming. If you want to make a drop map, find out what building in a set POI you want to land at, and start playing arena and drop out of the bus as many times as needed to get the perfect glide. When you get a perfect glide, go into replays and find a spot you deployed your glider, and go into Fortnite.gg and mark it. This is an absolute game changer and makes off-spawn fighting 100 times easier. Moving on to the fourth secret, we're going to be talking about Storm Surge tags thresholds. And this is super interesting because snipers are added back to the game, meaning you'll need more Storm Surge this season compared to last season because of how if you knock a body, you can simply tag the body twice with your AR, then headshot snipe it for an easy 300 plus damage. So the question that remains is how much Storm Surge should you be going for before it gets active in the 3rd zone, 5th zone, and 7th zone? Well, it's pretty easy. For 3rd zone, the threshold is 450 damage, compared to around 400 last season, 850 for the 5th zone, and around 1200 for the 7th moving zone. Of course, Storm Surge varies heavily on how good the players in your lobby are. Recently, when I've been practicing, Storm Surge has been as high as 1500 in the 2nd moving zone. But these thresholds of 450, 850, and 1200 will unarguably be enough for both round 2 and 3 in FNCS. So do with that information as you will. The last and final secret of today's episode is going to be using pre-edits in fights and endgame in trios. Unfortunately, pre-edits aren't longer much of a secret. However, learning to fight with pre-edits in trios will get you a super far way. Not only can you get refreshes in FNCS opens pretty much whenever, but it's also a great strategy to use if you don't have a lot of surge. In the background right now, you see Andretta, Savage, and Revscard using pre-edits in the moving zones of an FNCS Grand Finals game. Using pre-edits were one of the many reasons for their success at this FNCS, and pre-edits is undoubtedly creating more and more of a skill gap within competitive Fortnite. So don't fall behind and start using pre-edits today, because trust me, it's incredibly overpowered. Guys, that is going to wrap up today's episode. I really hope you found this video both enjoyable and informative. I am personally really happy with the outcome of today's upload. And with that said, my name is Marin TM. Stay safe and take care. She know me, she'll know.